Well, hello and welcome back to GMODISM. This is your host Eric, and today we're gonna have a really big battleship battle. We're gonna pitch the UCS Sanctuary by Omicron, Mark 1, versus the BBS Obelisk Gate by Kevin Try. So, if you're new here, we're basically doing some tournament here from a really big battleship which I built previously, which is called the Gimle class, if you missed that on the channel. And the Gimle class, of course, pretty strong, but half of the submissions sent in did beat it. And those who beat it, or basically beat each other very much in the, well, losers bracket before, they are now in this little winners bracket. Yeah, so if you're new here, I'm Eric and this is the GMODISM channel, and in this, well, GMODISM Empire, we're doing some tournaments, of course. You can join on Discord if you want information on future tournaments and the like. In any case, this is the Omicron's Sanctuary. Resolute, I mean. I spawned the wrong ship. It should be the Sanctuary. We're starting professionally. Here we have it. This is it. This is the beautiful Sanctuary by Omicron. It has fantastic, beautiful stone structure. Not too bad armor, to be honest. Stone and wood. We are getting some pieces of lag. I wonder why. But anyways, if we are checking this thing out here, we have some interiors. And in this beautiful little interior, we have lizard people praying to a golden pyramid. It's probably the Pyramid of Giza, and it probably provides a infinite energy solution for the entire world. But since these are evil, they are, well, controlling it or something. That's a theory. But anyways, this in any case, well, that's just a game theory. Well, it's not, because that's a bought up channel now, I think. But in any case, this is actually an eliminating battle, so the loser will be out of this tournament. So that's sad news. If you are a big fan of either of these ships, one of them will go. Or if you're a big fan of both of these ships, you will be very sad because one of them will not be seen anymore. This ship and its contestant already lost a battle, both of them, which means that the one that loses this battle, best of 3, will be eliminated from the tournament. Because it is double elimination, best of 3. We got a big load of different shell. We got some heavy head, some accurate sandblaster stuff there. We got some multi-barrel turrets right here, 200mm of armor pierce. No, we have a sabot. Oh, that's just a sabot. So we have some real sandblasting potential here. We're gonna see how this goes, and we have a timed fuse for this one. We do have a AP frag system for this, and yeah, we got some mortars too to confuse the enemy and stuff. Let's look at its contestant. Wow, this is super crazy. I just find out what is causing the lag with the Obelisk Gate. It has 4 video projectors inside, and even though I appear to be offline, they are actually loading my network with 18 megabits per second of data. Oh man. So yeah. We'll have to make some separate video about what lags and not lags. That is in the workings, to be honest. Okay, I'm just quickly gonna resave this. Cool, now I know. Well, in any case, this is a very beautiful design by Kevin Try, and it is, of course, a Onyx watch, an in-game faction. And it is a fan build of that, and it looks absolutely splendid. So take a good look on it, because naturally I'll need to switch to some well, not this good graphics in a while due to, well, lag. Because, you know. We've got an array of different weapons here. 433mm, 33mm armor-piercing high explosive, as we can see here, with some EMP snuck into it as well. We got a with more EMP. We have a lot of smaller APS cannons around that I believe is most likely diff guns, right? Yeah, we got some diff guns here. And these are loaded with 500mm munition defense. So that's anti-incoming. Well, anti-stuff that's incoming. Like crams and stuff. So we shall see. I do think most of its defenses will not be as useful against its opponents, since it seems to be mostly reliable against sandblasters. Well, these railguns sure are scary. It will be fun to see it in combat, so let's get into it. Contestants are spawned in here, so we got Kevin tries Obelisk Gate. We are letting the battle go, and there over we have the UCS Sanctuary by Omicron. And looks like we are trying to get out there. This is like an airship-ish. Yeah, well, it is an airship. We are doing some interesting strafe motions here to get into some nice angles. Really sandblasting our way through here. Looks like both of the ships took a serious hit there. Probably from the AP Shem railguns. Or I think the rail at least. Maybe I didn't check if both are rail assisted. I do know the Obelisk Gate are rail assisted, but I do think for AP Shem it's usually the case. Wow. 94%, but the Sanctuary is down at 97 as well, so it is not doing absolutely fantastic. That is very, very sure. Bam, look at that. We're dropping blocks. It's bobbing up and down here, trying to evade a lot of the incoming shots. It does, of course, use some secondary lasers and packs too, in order to spread out the damage. We're actually just going to quickly check here if we see this menu. The firepower is mostly APS, but we do actually got some serious crams, a somewhat serious laser, and a serious particle cannon too, so they are not inactive, so to say, but it's mostly a sandblaster based system. And here we can see we have basically pure APS firepower. Now, the Obelisk Gate will not be able to use its active defenses. Oh, we do have cram mortars coming in here too, so I'm surprised to see that the Obelisk Gate did not activate any of those diff civs against the mortars here, because those mortars are no joke. Oh, those swarms of APS are sure scary. We are showing our side. Let's see here. 84%, but it is still fighting valiantly. The UCS Sanctuary 92%, it is a bit more vulnerable since it is flying, and bam, that was a bad hit. The tides may turn. Obelisk Gate still at 92%, and the Sanctuary we're looking at now is 91%. But each of those swarms coming in here seem to do some pretty big damage, to be honest. Now, it is the case that the Obelisk Gate is, of course, a sea vehicle, and the sea crafts usually are a bit more resilient and able to fight at a lower percentage. As of the Sanctuary, it is a airship-based system, but it does have some naval capabilities. Those propellers work in water and air. So I don't think it will sink. I think it will function somewhat as a water vessel too. So it is not as weak as most airships usually are, relying on custom jet engines, you see. But we do still expect it to fight a bit less well at percentage that we might expect the Obelisk Gate to be able to fight at. Well, very interesting. 77 versus 88 percentages. Well, it is certainly a very tense fight. Look at that. By the way, if you're wondering how I control my camera and making these like nice pans and views, I did provide a little tutorial about that before, so you can check that out, of course. We have a lot of tutorials here, and I don't know if I had time to upload, but we will have some tutorials on the GMODISM channel in the future, I think, so make sure to stay tuned there. Well, 75 percentages for the Obelisk Gate and 87 for the Sanctuary. It seems that the Obelisk Gate's health is sinking a little bit quicker than the Sanctuary. But bam, both of these designs are pretty resilient. That has to be said. They are valiant fighters, and we will be missing the craft we will no longer see. Bam, bam. Looks like the Sanctuary lost a turret. A big one. Well, we'll see how that will affect its damage dealing potential over time. 84 percentages, bam, losing another turret, 83 percentages. Remember, this is best of 3, so we will see indeed. The Sanctuary is... oh, it's staying out of the water all right. As said, it does have propellers, so it will be very hard to sink this thing unless all its engine power is basically gone. Then it also has some wood, so it should provide some passive float as well. Pretty good concept. I may need to steal that sometime. Now, the UCS Sanctuary is at 70, but here we're looking at the Obelisk Gate at 70 percentages. You can see it is still trying to fight quite valiantly indeed, but of course, the turret we see in front of us is so damaged it basically does not function anymore. So we have effectively lost one of 3 big turrets there. The Obelisk Gate has entered the funny number. 69 percentages of health. That is not so far away from despawning. Omicron stays here with the Sanctuary at 80 percentages, doing a good job of keeping itself into the battle. I do wonder, however, why it has not shown the other side to the enemy, since we do have a lot more armor there. A little design, well, I would almost want to say design flaw, because I do think that Omicron Mark 1 with the Sanctuary and his other submission, the what did I try to spawn instead of this? Resolute, yeah. Both of them would benefit greatly from either being one-siders or pitch the other side to the enemy when suffering some damage. But apparently it was a bit hard to make that happen in a good way, Omicron said before. But I do know Omicron is a very skilled builder, so I'm sure he would solve it at some time. And that could definitely improve the combat results. Now, it does really look like the Sanctuary will win the first round anyways. The battle is going somewhat slowly, that has to be said, but we'll need to stay with it and see what happens. But in the meantime, we can put up on screen the commissioned officers of the Army of GMODISM. So we can say big thanks to our, well, commissioned officers. Captain Awesome Pupper, Commanders Ben Wilkie and Delphin, Lieutenants Ali, Anto, Creevy, Flores Dagan, Owen, Parva Greed, Vincent Veritas, Rick Burrell, and Scooby Rocks as of recording this. Also, big thanks to anyone if anyone did already join the new support option, which is the Government of GMODISM. And I have a little question for everyone. Would the cool thing with the Government of GMODISM is that it's basically no transfer fees. It's more a direct support option provided through that platform. And it's the same like platform we can provide a merch shop via. So anyways, if I were able to include so you could access the prefabs and sub-objects that the commissioned officers get, cadets too, big thanks to them as well, of course, would it be more like, would you be more interested in joining the Government of GMODISM if you could include prefabs and sub-objects? Then please tell me that, because it wouldn't be too hard to do it, actually. For YouTube members, it is quite difficult, but since we have it via the what is it? The fourth wall is the provider, the shop. I can provide so that members can like get automatic access to that. It's advanced, I don't know. Well, anyways, I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically, having access to the prefabs and sub-objects that the commissioned officers get, would it be interesting to join the Government of GMODISM? That's what I'm trying to say. Well, in any case, 62% the obelisk gate is at. You can see it has a quite steep angle trying to not sink. Doing a pretty good job at it. The obelisk gate sure is a resilient ship. Well, but how is the Sanctuary doing now at 76%? So we can't say it's exactly doing absolutely fantastic. Oh bam, look at that. The obelisk gate entered despawn territory. I don't know if we got an AI hit or what happened there, but that's definitely a kill. First round goes to Omicron's UCS Sanctuary. Well, we need to check the next rounds. It's best of 3 after all. We're spawned for round 2. I would like to take this opportunity to say big thanks to all of the YouTube members. If you think this list of supporters and info or anything feels outdated, it's probably because it was released a couple of weeks early for the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM, which is the YouTube members. I can give early access, but yeah, to videos if that is something for you. But in any case, that's an option too. And by the way, I did make the Patreon, which is the Army of GMODISM commissioned officers, and the YouTube memberships, which is the Ecclesiarchy, as cheap as I could. Basically the lowest amount they would allow me to have, and that's because I wanted that if anyone wants to support the channel but wants to do so and like at a limited amount, because of course you shouldn't support a channel if it affects your economy in any way, and I hope most people's economy will not be affected by $1 a month, but if it is, don't even consider it, of course. So that's the thing. Most of the rewards are available from the lowest level. As for the commissioned officers, the higher tiers have like builds for them, so I make some custom builds, and they of course are pretty advanced and take some time. Well, enough about that. I can't speak today, as you will notice. But, bam. Some scary damage. Don't want to sound like a broken record. Okay, I think we're gonna catch some of the shots here and see where they are heading, basically. Oh, and these are like grouping together. Oh, look at that. We are activating the era inside of here. We got some backstacked era. Pretty smart setup. Bam, look at that. We're really drilling pretty well here. Doing a good drill job here from the sanctuary side. And the railguns on the obelisk gate are absolutely super scary. Let me show you the array here. Armor piercing high explosive with some EMP. And they are fired in a burst like this. So we're gonna hope that this salvo hits so that we can analyze the damage a little bit. We can see one of them got deflected by shields and the rest leaked through here. So now you can see we have one detonating there, bam, EMP damage going somewhere. Probably it should have penetrated even deeper, could have been beneficial. And here we have the armor piercing, or was it sabot frag? Yeah? No, this is an armor piercing shell, which is usually a better idea than sabot frag. Well, catching some shots in slow motion. We have similar results from last battle, where the obelisk gate is a little bit behind here, where the sanctuary is at 97% and the obelisk gate is at 90%. Well, will be highly interesting to see the result of this little best of 3. Look at that. But honestly, I must say, I think it can go either way. Both of these ships are of course very strong, and these bursts of armor piercing high explosive with some EMP, they're scary, and if they were aimed at the right position, they could potentially AI snipe a system. So I must say, it may not look like it, but I honestly think it looks like a pretty even match here. I think the biggest flaw on the obelisk gate in this battle is that it's so darn slow. Or not slow, it's really fast, but it's not maneuverable because it's so big, of course. So it gets hit by a lot of those cram mortars. And the cram mortars are pretty scary when you haven't armored the deck really much, as most people do. And now you can see that the difflax actually took out some cram mortars. I haven't seen that before. So it's good that some of them are able to target the cram mortars, but it would probably be beneficial if they could all target the cram mortars, because then it would have a better edge in this fight, since right now most of the diff sieve systems are not used, since a big diff sieve system is mostly set up to deal with enemy doom cram systems. And do tell me if you want a big tutorial, like when I made a tutorial for all the different weapons you can build. If you want a tutorial for all defenses you can have in a long 1.5 hour video like I did for all the weapons, well, then you can say so in the comments, of course. I may do that. Oh! Now, this is a bit of a forgotten option, since I haven't talked about it too much. It's mostly my fault, and it is also added maybe more for in the unlikely event the channel would grow very quickly. We actually have a subreddit, the GMODISM subreddit, and that is actually the official place where you can suggest videos and contents for the channel. And, well, all our social media and everything like that is actually explained at gmodism.com. I built that homepage basically from the ground up. There is no homepage that looks even remotely like it. It has a super fun navigation system. I like it a lot at least, but of course I spent many hours making it. As I usually do, get a little bit too involved in a project and maybe spend a little bit too much time on it. But if you haven't done that already, please check out GMODISM.com. That would be fun if you did, so that I can convince myself that I didn't spend hours of work for nothing. Well, look at that. The sanctuary seems to dip into the water at times. Mayhaps its engine power is a bit... Bam! Whoa! I think we got another AI kill. Oh man. This sanctuary wasn't looking really good this time, but it got killed. The Obelisk Gate, that is. The Obelisk Gate got killed anyways. Ah, it could really have won that battle. And not to be like partial, but I would have wanted the Obelisk Gate to stay in the tournament actually, because Omicron Mark 1 already has a design in the well, continuing tournament. So yeah, but we don't decide that. Oh no, fate decided that the Obelisk Gate is retired for good from the Gimle tournament. Beautiful looking design. I think you may be able to get it on the workshop. I'm not completely sure, but otherwise ask Kevin Try in the Discord, in our Discord, the Gymlists Discord, of course. I'm sure he may. Well, I don't know actually. Ask him if you want it, if it's not on the workshop. Well, I'm definitely going to spawn a last battle here, because of course this means big congratulations to Omicron Mark 1 and his UCS Sanctuary. It is continuing in the losers bracket of this tournament. It is not eliminated, but the Obelisk Gate is. So, GG. Well, we are just going to run the third battle for the fun of it, because of course I felt it was a pretty even match. Bam, those lambs really were able to take out that first little burst. Let's follow the traces back here. We don't necessarily need to follow this entire battle, but for a couple of minutes at least, just to see if the results would have been similar or not. And so that it's not very apparent if we had 2 or 3 battles in the time bar, because that kind of spoils it for all of you if you genuinely don't want to know who's gonna be the winner until you've seen the 3 battles. You can kind of... yeah, it kind of gets a bit boring when we have only 1 battle like this. If we group a lot of battles together, it is less apparent, of course. But when we have 1 battle per video like this, it is, yeah, big problems. Wow, I think we probably have some decoys on top here, because we have a lot of shells. Probably heat decoys up here, because we have a lot of shells trying to shoot at it. Wow. Big swarms of damage coming in there, but of course... we're sending swarms back of armor-piercing high explosive. I do feel that the Obelisk Gate's armor-piercing high explosive would have been a little bit better if they would penetrate a bit deeper before detonating. I don't think they have timed fuses. I think it may just be a limitation of kinetic energy, but I'm not sure actually. Who knows indeed? 96 versus 99. Looks like we're having similar results this round too. And the Sanctuary really likes to keep a weird angle towards the enemy. I feel like it would have probably benefited from having more of a straight angle, but also, I don't know, maybe it's just turning too slow, because the back turrets are obviously not even able to aim very often, which should be a problem. It's probably designed to fight like this, to be honest, but it kind of feels like it should have stayed dead on to the enemy, straight face to the enemy, and maybe just packing a lot of mortars back here. Or Maybe not even mortars, maybe just like laser systems, laser turrets. Or a spinal pack cannon. That's cool. Well, it's certainly looking very, very beautiful here. When we just do these battles like this. Even though we have like the settings at the lowest in the game. The time and weather we set here, it still looks pretty nice, I think, but that's of course my opinion. I wonder what game speed we have anyways. 0.7. It was so bad with the projectors on. Man, it lagged so much. I can't believe I didn't notice the load on the network before. Just because I had Task Manager online, I could see it. That's the entire reason, to be honest. 89 versus 95. Well, I think we're gonna have similar results to last time, actually. I'm gonna be very surprised if we get any other results. You know what? I think we can probably tune out of this little video pretty soon here. Should have been a couple of more minutes to make it not totally apparent from the beginning, I hope. Or maybe it wasn't, maybe I spoiled people now. It's just that like, if we have 2 obelisk gates, of course they're gonna win against the Sanctuary, but I'm not sure I can run that battle. I'm not sure. It's gonna be a slideshow anyway, so I don't really feel like it. But what I will say is big thanks for watching this little video, and as said, check out the GMODISM's other channels, the GMODISM Empire's other channels, the GMODIST channel in particular, or the Relaxism channel if you want some chill building, relax content. And of course, GMODISM.com is your place to check out all our stuff. And do tell me about adding the files for the government of GMODISM. If that would make you think it's a better support option that you would like to join, then please tell me so too in the comments. This is your host, Eric of GMODISM, and I'm signing out. So I'll see you next time.